Hello, hello, hello. My name is Amista, and I'm here to do a little bit of tarot reading on the day before Thanksgiving. And so we're going to do a little bit of tarot reading, have a little bit of fun. We're going to start off with our first tarot spread is going to be how to manifest whatever it is I want to manifest. Best advice, basically, for over the next 24 hours. So be thinking about what is it that you would like to manifest. And then we're going to take a peek at best advice there. And you can want to manifest things that are little or things that are huge, doesn't matter. We're still going to take a look at that advice. So be thinking about it while I'm getting these cards cleared. Mila, Mila, hello, hello. How are you today, Ms. Mila? Nomad, hello, hello, welcome. Glad to see you, ladies, in the room today. How are y'all doing? You were hoping to see me. Do you have some feedback to give me? Do you have to catch me up on some good juice? Or do you just want to ask your next question? Thank you for the thumbs up. Whichever one of y'all did that, I appreciate the thumbs ups. You're baking up your desserts. Woohoo. What are you making? Pumpkin pie, pecan pie. You were asking my feedback. In other words, you want a question answered. You know, if you don't ever catch me, if I'm busy doing other stuff, you can always order a one question reading off of my website. That works too. Pumpkin pie and apple tarts. Oh, that sounds yummy. I've never actually made a tart. I've ate tarts. I like them, but I've never made any. That does sound yummy. All right, so let's look at best manifestation advice. What are y'all manifesting? A fantastic Thanksgiving dinner, peace in the house. So many options, right? My page is a little too big. Let me do some adjusting here. That's not what I want, is it? No, that's not what I want. Okay. All right. You're having sushi. Woohoo. Seeking clarity for the new year. Oh, you should get a reading. I need to start doing solar returns. But definitely should get a reading and see what's coming in the new year. I would love to do that for you. You guys can find out about how to get my readings if you check my website, which is in the description below. I hope it is anyway. All my contact information is there too. A solar return actually is not exactly a New Year reading, but a solar return is it basically happens on your birthday or very near your birthday, and it's when the sun comes back to the exact point that it was when you were born. That's considered your solar return. And so a lot of people like to get a solar return reading in astrology, which I need to start doing those. I need to put it on my website. But it basically, like, whatever is going on that day generally is sort of a theme for the rest of the year. So you're starting a whole new cycle as your birthday happens. And the solar return just tells you the theme of your year. Sushi sounds yummy for dinner. All right, let's look at our best manifestation advice over the next 24 hours. When is your birthday, Nomad? Boo-ba-da-doo-doo. I just did a little solar return for my Sagittarius people when I sent out their invitation for their birthday discount. My people that get my newsletter. January 28th. Does that make you a Capricorn or Aquarius? That makes you an Aquarius, doesn't it? All right, best manifestation advice. What do we have showing up? Boop, 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 boop. What do we have? We have a 2 and a 3 and a 4. They aren't in repeating suits though, but we've got a 2, 3, 4. We like that. Aquarian. You know what? I get along with female Aquariuses, but I cannot date a male Aquarius for anything, man. I mean, I have. It doesn't work well. All right, let's see here. Best manifestation advice. Show up with the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Two of Pentacles in reverse says, don't try to overdo. Don't try to take on more than what we can actually handle, which is very easy to do on the day before Thanksgiving, right? Focus on the important stuff. Pass along the other stuff to somebody else who can handle it. Three of Cups, this is the important stuff. The important stuff is time with friends and family. A lot of us are, especially those of us who are strongly empathic. That's kind of a normal thing for us. And look at this, and family. This basically says, drop the extra stuff with this card. Drop all the extras. Focus on friends and family. Isn't that interesting? That was very timely. That was very timely. All right, let's see. That makes me feel a little bit better because I'm going out to dinner with a friend of mine who literally has her birthday tomorrow. All right, let's see. I guess I need to get out a dice so we can figure out who we're going to read for. Who are we going to read for first? I see the hinge. Where's the opening? Oh, yeah. Duh. Thank you. It's really interesting because my birthday was last week, and she does Chinese astrology. That's kind of her specialty. And our birthdays are not the same, but when you look at our Chinese astrology, we have like two things that are not the same. Maybe only one thing. Maybe it's only one thing. Anyway, we're almost the same. I'm trying to figure out how many sides this thing has for what I'm looking at right now. I see a 9. Let's see here. Someone got me this. We start with 0 on this one, so there's 10 sides. So somebody got me this little thing for my birthday. Let's see if I can show it to you a little better than that. So you can see it has all kinds of numbers on the outside. But it opens up. It has a little keychain that attaches to the top, but then it opens up. And when you open it up, let's see if I can do this without spilling it. See all those little dice in there? There's all kinds of little dice in there. So I've been having fun with that. So see, it just hangs close by. All right, so we've got a number between 0 and 9. We are gambling. We are gambling. 0 and 9. We have a number on the table. Whoever puts that number in the chat first is going to be the first person that I read for today. Let's see. 9 is not it. 7 is not it. 6 is not it. 7 and 7 is not it. 5 is not it. 3 is not it. 5 is not it. 2 is not it. 8 is not it. 3 is not it. Come on, guys. 4. Mila. Well, you said you had a question for me. No feedback, just a question. What is it you want to know, Mila? I suddenly looked up and realized my lips had no color in the camera. That's the thing about working on camera. Every once in a while you see yourself and you're like, oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh. She copied and pasted that question. Last time, what would be Felipe's feelings receiving the message I wanted to send? So I sent it. Lordy. I don't even know if I can do this. Okay. Mila, we're not going to answer that question. Here's why. Here is why. You're fine. You're fine. Totally get it. Trust is an issue. here. Okay. So here's the thing. We already asked Spirit this question. And yes, something has happened since then, but there, we asked what would happen when you sent this message. What would be his feelings? We can't ask that again. Here's why. And this is just my theory of why, but it's based on experiences that I've had in my time reading since 2012. Right? I hear you, Mila. Hello there, Theodora. Welcome, welcome. You'll find out if you stick around. We definitely do more readings, but right now we're taking a little time with Mila because she needs it right now, and I think everybody will probably learn from this. So here's the thing. You can ask the same question twice. However, if you're going to ask the same question twice, you want to give it a couple of months of, life happening and unfolding organically before you ask the same question. Because the first time, my theory is the first time we ask the question, Sacred Spirit goes, oh, look, they want our input. Isn't that nice? Here you go. Nice, honest, solid answer that you can move forward with. The second time you ask, Spirit goes, they didn't trust that answer. Well, maybe if we give it to them again the same way, they'll trust it. If you get lucky, you get the same answer. The third time you ask, for sure now, Spirit's going, oh, they didn't like that answer, did they? They don't really trust us. They're just playing games with us. Huh. I wonder if they'll like this answer better. Bloop. And now you get served a completely different answer. And this happens even if you go to different readers with the same question. And then when you get the completely different answer, now you don't know who to believe. Should you believe the first reader or the first reading? Should you believe this one? Because your trust was slacking, man. And you have to come to this with a little bit of trust. So that's why I'm not asking this question again. So you're going to have to come up with another question from me, Mila. It is tricky. But think about it. Like, we're being tricky too. If we ask repeat questions, we're being tricky. We're being manipulative. We're just trying to wait until we get the answer that we want. That's really what's happening there. Oh, I didn't like that answer. Let me get the answer that I want. Let me make this reader wave her magic wand and make things happen in my life the way I want them to happen. Doesn't work like that. Readers aren't all the same accurate, but if you've got one that you've got a good track record with, and then you go around and ask a bunch of others, then you're definitely not going to get accurate answers. And that's not a fair position to put your reader in either. Because now Spirit is like going, oh, they're playing? Okay, well, we're playing. And now the reader looks like a jackass because they're getting an answer from Spirit that's not actually accurate for you. Yep, no magic genies. Hello there, Mimi. Welcome, welcome. So, Mila, do you want a message from Spirit or do you have another question? I am doing readings. Right now, I'm waiting on Mila to give me a second question. Let's do a message from Spirit for you. I think that's going to be a little bit more healthy for you that right now, Mila. Spirit don't play. That's right. Spirit don't play. Well, they play if you play, but you don't want them to play. They have a great sense of humor too. We have a Mimi Mila and we have a Mila. Isn't that interesting? All right. Best message from Spirit for Mila. Everybody else be on the lookout for a piggyback message, which means if you notice that this message starts to resonate for you, then make good use of it. Don't let it be wasted. And if it doesn't resonate for you, then please don't stretch it out, scrunch it up, run over it, or throw it in the dryer to try to make it fit. Okay? So here we go. Message from Spirit. Boop-a-da-doo-doo-doo-doo, boop-a-da-doo-doo-doo-doo, boop-a-da-doo-doo-doo. All right, so, look at this. Look at this. Ace of Cups talks about the beginning of new love, baby. I don't actually have a list. You'll see how things go around here. All right. Oh, thank you for the subscribe and the like. I appreciate that. All right. So we have the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is covered by the Seven of Wands. Well, this is holding up boundaries. Boundaries. So, Mila, you've got this new love or refreshed love type situation, but there's boundaries around it. Can we say avoidant? I think we should say avoidant. We've got some kind of avoidant situation happening here. This person has feelings, but they're keeping their boundaries. All right. Now, their boundaries can be good. In this case, we already kind of know a little bit about Mila's boundaries that the other person has, so maybe not so great. Anyway, let's look at the advice here. Advice around this new love where there are boundaries. Queen of Swords, look at this thing logically. Get your emotions out of it. Okay, our Swords court cards are cold. It's not that they don't have emotions, but they look at things and they make their decisions based on what makes sense here. All right. So to a certain extent, like the air signs kind of have it good because they can look at a relationship and go, this is not making sense. And they can cut it. They can cut it. Look at that big sword. They can cut it pretty easy. Those of us who are water signs and fire signs, we look at a relationship and all those feelings are mixed in with all the facts. And so where we might know right here, we need to cut this right here is not in agreement. And we're paying a lot of attention to what's in our heart too. So this is saying, look at this logically. Don't look at it for what is the potential of this relationship. Look at what is this relationship right now? What is this situation with the love, with the boundaries? Am I walking through the zoo? Is this a panda that I can't touch? Like what is happening here? Okay. So look at that logically. Next, we have the Magician showing up in reverse. The Magician in reverse says, there is only so much you can do to have the situation move forward here, right? Because you're only one half of the equation. So you can do whatever you want to do, but unless there's cooperation, nothing is really moving forward here. Right, Mila? I got it. I've totally been there. Two of Swords in reverse basically says, there's some indecision happening here. All right. And the indecision is because, like, you are not looking at this logically, or you've got your heart all tangled up in this. You're trying to manifest something out of a situation where it seems like you're the only one trying to manifest anything. And in couples world, if only one person's trying to manifest something, it ain't going nowhere. It ain't getting off the ground. All right. So this is Spirit just saying, let's be logical with this situation. Let's be logical. Let's look at what's really in front of us and let's make our decisions based on logic rather than holding on for whatever it is we're holding on for that's not in front of us and not part of the relationship right now. It is disappointment, definitely. Here's the thing, though. Here's the encouraging part of this, Mila. And for anybody else that's getting a piggyback, here's the encouraging part of this. When we let go of something that isn't actually working and that has us more stressed out and anxious than happy, well, then we make room for something that can come in that can make us happy. And really, the most important thing isn't that particular person being in our lives. The most important thing is happiness being in our lives. Doesn't really matter who that happiness comes in through. right? All right. Let's roll the dice. I'm going to roll the dice again. This dice has numbers from 0 to 9. And then we'll have a number on the table. Then whoever puts in the matching number first will be the next person I read for. 0 to 9. Okay, we have our number on the table. What do we have here? You're quite welcome, Mila Mila. Hello there, Cheryl. 2 is not it. 4 is not it. 5 is not it. 3 is not it. 3 is still not it. 6 is not it. 7 is not it. 9 is not it. 0 and 9. 0 is not it. Cheryl Ford gets it with the 8. Cheryl Ford. All right, Miss Cheryl, do you have a question for me today, or do you want a message from Spirit? All righty. Message for Miss Cheryl. Guys, don't forget to share this video with others in case there's somebody out there also who would like to have a reading. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo, and a little camaraderie. We've got a pretty good crowd growing in this room. I like it. People who are like-minded. Okay, everybody be on the lookout for a piggyback message. Pulling a reading for Miss Cheryl. Ooh, you got 2 majors in your situation. No majors in your advice. Okay. Oh, this is funny. Ba, 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 ba. Sorry about hitting the mic, guys. This is funny, though, Cheryl. Okay. You have the Hierophant showing up in reverse. What is the Hierophant in reverse? The Hierophant in reverse is, man, I do not want to be a part of this long-term contract or commitment. Get me out of here now. If I'm married, I don't want to be married. If I'm paying a mortgage, I don't want to be paying a mortgage. Whatever it is, long-term contract or commitment, this is like, out, get me out. Or if you haven't got in yet, this is realizing I do not want to have anything to do with this. Nay, nay, nay. All right. Now, what do we have crossing that? Look at this. We have the Hermit crossing this. So this is interesting because what it tells me is this, Cheryl, that you're at a point now where maybe before you were really dedicated to being the hermit, to being alone, to being independent, self-sufficient, doing your own thing without a lot of interference from other people, without a lot of collaboration from other people, maybe I should say. So this talks about that you've kind of recently realized, man, I don't want to stay in this situation forever. It was nice for a while, but maybe I would like to have some collaboration or some interference from somebody else. Okay, so isn't that a nice little twist there? We thought it was going to be a divorce, and then we saw the Hermit. All right, I need a cup of coffee, a drink of coffee. Exactly. Well, I don't even want to say lonely versus community because a lot of us who are out here alone, we're not lonely. And a lot of people who are not alone just can't even wrap their brains around that. But just because you're alone doesn't mean you're lonely. Now, I'm not saying all people who are alone are not lonely. That can go either way. I am not lonely. All right, let's look at best advice or heads up. What we have showing up is the King of Pentacles in reverse, first of all. This is interesting. This tells me that there's somebody in your sphere of influence who is a little bit broken. Right? I can understand that. It took me a while after Scott died to be really comfortable with the idea of somebody else. So King of Pentacles in reverse. This is somebody who's in your sphere of influence, though. And they're kind of broken. Okay? My King of Pentacles can be somebody who does not have money. Or it can be somebody who is broken, like up here. They've got a little something wrong. 2 and 2 is not always making 4. Sometimes it makes 5 up here. And you may not, usually when my King of Pentacles comes up, he's not like super broken like that. it may take a little bit before you realize, maybe this person has some kind of avoidant attachment style, or maybe this person is dealing with a little extra, serving of paranoia or whatever, So it's not super obvious when you first meet them, but this person in your sphere of influence is not really completely okay. All right. Now, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now we have the Nine of Pentacles showing up here. Nine of Pentacles talks about independence, doing things on our own. Okay. I think we're talking more about your son here, maybe, because that Nine of Pentacles is right behind. This talks about doing things on your own. This really, like, I'm seeing all these pentacles as pills. Like, I think your son is like saying, you know what? I don't want to take medicine. I don't want to take medicine for the rest of my life. And this talks about the Two of Wands. Two of Wands talks about looking at, I don't have anything about messages, actually, between the two of you. So you may not be in communication right now. You don't have to be. But if that's the case, and this is your son, this says you don't have to be so committed to the idea of the separation of the hermit, of not being in touch. Okay? And this says, basically, if we're talking about your son or whoever we're talking about here, this is, I'm really thinking about what this is going to be like if I try to deal with my mental illness without medication. How is that going to impact the people around me? And he may even be thinking about what he can do for alternative type things to help him. Or he may be just thinking just straight up, just nope, just natural me. So I think he's really thinking about the idea of coming off medication one way or the other and wondering how that's going to impact people around him. This says just what you told me, not in communication with him. Maybe it's time to be in communication with him, to not be so dedicated to this idea of being closed off to him. And this may be why, our insights may be why, this idea that he's thinking about coming off of medication and he doesn't know how it's going to impact others. He's really considering how it's going to impact others. He maybe could use a little bit of advice or support. So I don't know why you guys aren't talking. If medication had something to do with why you guys aren't talking. Could be. Could be. Well, if the ball is in his court, then here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say I think that you should get ready for him to be reaching out to you, and you should be like mentally and emotionally prepared for those cards to come up like that. That's what I'm going to say. All right. Let's see. Let's roll this dice again. All right. So what is that number? Okay. We do have a number on the table. The first one to put that number in the chat first will be the next person to be read for. I think with what just came up, Cheryl, I think you're probably going to be hearing from him soon. So time to kind of get ready for that. 3 is not it. 5 is not it. 2 is not it. 3 is not it. 1 is not it. 4 is not it. 7 is not it. 6 is not it. 9 is not it. 0 is not it. 2 is not it. 7 is not it. There's 5 is not it. 0 is not it. Nomad takes it away with the 8. 1989 Nomad. So Desiree, do you have a question for me today, honey bunny, or do you want a message from Spirit? It's so funny. YouTube's telling me there's only 2 people in the room. Well, Mimi, we're not done yet. Don't cry. Message from Spirit for Nomad. Everybody else be on the lookout for a piggyback message. Piggyback message. Mimi, the fact that you picked 8 right after Nomad did, you might get a piggyback. I can't guarantee it, though. I always kind of think it's going to work like that, and then I'm not always right. I know that's the second time the 8 came out. YouTube is a little loco, that's for sure. All right, so nomad message from Spirit. Everybody else be on the lookout for a piggyback message. Let's see what we got. I just so enjoy reading for you guys. By the way, speaking of reading for you guys, if I do pretty good with 5 cards, you should really get a reading with me. I'll knock your socks off. All right, so nomad, what's your situation? Here you have the moon card showing up in reverse. This, for me, talks about the truth is coming out, baby. This is a situation where you knew 2 and 2 was not making 4, but you could not put your fingers on why it wasn't making 4. There was something missing. You knew there was something missing. You didn't know. With the moon coming up in reverse, the truth just pops up. Just like the cork pops to the top of the water. You're not doing any research. You're not doing any digging for information. It just actually shows up. Okay, so hang on a second. Write a new message. Unlock. I'm doing a live stream right now. I'll have to call you back, my friend. Okay. All right, so truth popping up. Hello, hello. Let's see. So we just stopped with the truth popping up. Okay. And I don't know yet. It's something where you know that you don't have all the information. Now, look at this. 10 of Swords coming up in reverse. Now, this is funny. My 10 of Swords in reverse is my card that says, it ain't over, baby. Now, that could be a romantic relationship. I don't know. But the fact that it's crossing your moon in reverse says that this information that pops up is something that brings out something again that you thought was dead and put to bed. Okay? So with my 10 of Swords in reverse, this just says, that this new information brings up something from the past, and it's something that was a long-term source of debate, argument, or tension. Okay? So do we really want it? Do we really want it? If it's a source of debate, argument, or tension? That's the question that I want you to ask yourself whenever this information comes up and you have this opportunity to resurrect this thing from the past. If it's a source of tension, argument, or debate, do you want that? All right. So let's look at your best advice or heads up here. We have the Star card. So the Star card for advice, this basically talks about know what you do want. Be thinking about what is it that you do want? What direction do you want to go in? What are your priorities right now? What are you focused on? The star is kind of like the guidance in life. Okay. If you think about how the sailors used to guide their ships by the North Star, this says, when we have the star, this says, I know my purpose. I know my point. I know my mission. I know what I'm about. Okay. So this says, what are you about? What is your purpose? What is your mission? What are you focused on? All right. Because when we know what we're focused on, when we know what we want, guess what we also know? We also know what we don't want. And we don't want distractions, tension, debate, or arguments. Think you can see where this spread's going. Now, exactly. It just causes more conflict. Next card that we have, I do think this is probably a relationship with this card. Next card we have is the Chariot in reverse. The Chariot in reverse says, don't take this thing forward. So my Chariot right side up, that's 2 people with the same mission, the same goal. They may have different perspectives, but they're moving towards it together. They're communicating and they're talking, communicating and talking. And they're moving towards the same goal harmoniously. When the Chariot comes up reverse, man, that Chariot is off the track. These two are not able to work together to get to the same goal harmoniously. They may not even have the same goal. This is a no-go. That's a strong no-go. Okay. Now, what do we have last? The King of Pentacles. This is somebody who has Earth pretty strong in their chart. And this is basically saying, this is a no-go with this guy. So whatever's going on here, X's are X's for a reason, man. And it looks to me like this person may be coming back, and maybe in the past you guys came apart because you had some kind of argument or tension that you just couldn't get on the same page on. Looks to me like this person is coming back, but they don't want to make any adjustments or changes or any negotiations. They want to come back and just pick up right where you guys left off in that same dysfunctionality and keep it rolling like that. That's what this person wants to do. It's not that they're necessarily a bad person, but they're not thinking things through really well. And maybe they miss you, but they're not coming at this with any kind of plan to make it work better. In fact, they don't want to change a thing. They would rather just have you chained to them miserably, handcuffed together at each other. You probably made them happy. They may not have made you happy. I think that the insider advice is that the best thing you could do is refuse. Well, I think he's going to try to chase you down and catch you. He's going to try. All right, let's shake the dice again and let's see what number comes up and read for another person. All right, we have a number on the table. Number between 0 and 9. Whoever puts that number in the chat first will be the next person I read for. Let's see. Mimi got it with a 2. What did you tell him? What did you tell him, Desiree? Okay, Mimi, do you have a question for me today, or do you want a message from Spirit? Okay. Excuse me. Will you tell me Taurus's first name? I usually use first names. You don't have to give the last name, though. I tell myself that names help me connect. He doesn't like the no answer. Maybe you need to set him up with somebody else. Be like, look, here's a cute chick right over here. Check her out. I don't know, though. Do you want to be that mean to a friend of yours? Okay, so Mark. Will the case be dropped for Mark? Lawyer had to represent him yesterday. Okay, so will the case that the lawyer had to represent Mark on yesterday, will that case be dropped? Will that case be dropped? No, that case is not going to be dropped. I wonder if the judge is a female, because I've got a Queen of Pentacles here that says, yep, not being nice to you. Looks to me like this case is, well, let's just look at the cards. First of all, we have the 8 of Wands. This talks about communication about the case. That's probably what happened yesterday. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This is my person that says, I've already been generous to you and I'm done being generous to you. Okay? So that's her attitude. I think that's the judge. We've got a King of Wands coming up here. So this may be Mark. I don't know. But King of Wands is very creative, thinks outside the box, really doesn't conform to what society has to do or has to say. Okay. And, well, maybe this is his ex. And then this is him. Three of Wands says that this thing is going to go for a while. This is my long-term card. This is planning for the long term. And the Empress in reverse says that he's not really getting what he wants out of this. So here's the thing. The Empress in reverse can be turned around with free will. So the Empress in reverse tells me that what's going on is Mark is not expecting to get this case dropped. He's not expecting really anything good to come out of this. And that is impacting what actually does come out of this. And not only Mark, but I think also you are a little bit worried about what could actually really come out of this. So the key here is to turn around the thinking around this situation so that, you know, something good can come out of this rather than what's on the plate right now. All right. So it's not like it's not changeable. It is changeable, but it's going to take changing thinking first and not staying focused on the fears. Definitely he needs to find another girlfriend. I think if you set him up with one, he might get the picture, whether it works out or not. All right. So, yeah. I mean, he's really scared that his ex can pull this off. Okay, what's next? Let's roll the dice another time and see who else we're reading for. I think that's interesting. I'm not sure what number this is. My eyes aren't as young as they used to be. All right, we do have a number. And I'm writing it down and circling it. Whoever puts that number in the chat first is going to be the next person for me to read for. That is scary. That's a very scary situation. You're quite welcome. So the whole point is you got to turn your thoughts around, though. 1 is not it. 2 is not it. Number between 0 and 9. 3 is not it. 3 is not it. Number between 0 and 9. Thank you guys for participating. 7 is not it. 4 is not it. 5 is not it. 8. Desiree. All right. Card of the day for you, my friend. This is going to be something that has happened within the last 24 hours or something that will happen by this time tomorrow. And then we'll roll the dice all over again. I kind of think maybe the weight is not right on this dice because this is the third time 8 has shown up tonight. Either that or Spirit's trying to make a point about infinity, one or the other. All right, so Desiree. Yep. Ooh, Desiree. What's your sign, Desiree? What's your sun sign and what's your rising sign? I'm so curious now that I've seen this card. I just want to know. Or was it you that was saying you're an Aquarius? Who was saying they were Aquarius earlier? Somebody was. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we have the card that comes up really that is the Scorpio card. The Death card. I would never call it that. I would always call it a card of transition because it really does talk about making some changes, usually starting with our own perception, which then changes how we act in the world and how the world responds to us. And pretty soon we're in a whole different situation. So this basically tells me that you've got some changes coming in, and those changes have to do with your perception right now, but there's a lot more to come. Boop, ba-da-doop, boop, boop. Yep. And isn't that interesting too, because you're an Aquarius, that you got the Scorpio card because Pluto just went into Aquarius how many days ago? Like the 19th? So a little bit more than a week. That's funny. So with Pluto going into Aquarius, you're going to be changing your whole sense of yourself over the next 20 years. It'll be, there's 20 years to work on that. So you're going to be working on that 20 years. So you may change the way you look. It may change how you see yourself. All kinds of things could be changing. Has nothing to do with the last. This is a completely different reading. This is for a card of the day. So this is something that is either started already or will be starting by this time tomorrow. All right, let's roll the dice again and see what else we get. All right, so we have another number. Okie dokie. Whoever puts that number in the chat first will be the next person I read for. Number between 0 and 9. Yeah, that's a given because of Pluto. But I just thought it was a great thing that you're an Aquarius and you got the Pluto card or the Scorpio card. Because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo-doo. For me, that's my 10th house. That means my career is changing. Doing a lot more technological version of stuff. Yeah. Definitely a transition. 2, Miss Cheryl Ford got it right off the bat. Cheryl, card of the day. Card of the day for Miss Cheryl Ford. All right, my friend, let's see what you get. Cheryl, if I tell you what year I was born, can you tell me if we're about the same age? Because ever since you said you lost your husband, now I'm all wondering. Boopity-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, boopity-doo-doo-doo. Card of the day for Miss Cheryl Ford. Excuse me. Aw, look at this. Page of Cups in reverse. That just means you're letting somebody know how important they are to you, or maybe even how much you love them. Woohoo! Oh, we are very close. I just turned 55 on the 18th of this month. Sweetness. Yep. Oh, 1954. Oh, not the same. I was born in 69. So that means what? You got about 15 years on me. Okay. All right. I was wondering if we're the same generation. Now I know. All right. So let's see here. Let's roll the dice again. Let's see. Oh, we have a new number. This one has not come up yet tonight. There's a little hint for y'all. I knew what you meant. Boopity doo 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 doo. Boopity doo, boopity doo. All right, number between 0 and 9. After this, I think we're going to be done for tonight. Number between 0 and 9. If anybody wants a reading, put a number between 0 and 9. Whoever guesses the number that I put down just now or intuits the number that I put down just now will be the next person I read for. Not on these dice. No, not on this one at least. I was kind of thinking maybe one of these dice does have symbols, but now I don't remember. Cheryl Cooter, hello, hello, welcome. 6 is not it. 4 is not it. Yeah, one of these has symbols. Or no, they actually just have numbers by tens, like 20, 30, 40, 50. What is this one? That's numbers. Yeah, they've all got numbers. 6 is not it. 4 is not it. Number between 0 and 9. I'm not sure why the chat seems to get disconnected and then we have to reconnect. But right now, okay, now we're connected. 7 is not it. 2 is not it. Are you? Well, I think we're almost done. Cheryl, we got chat disconnected for a little while. So, did you guess a 5 yet? Not leading anything anywhere, am I? I think Cheryl's going to be my last reading. All right. So Cheryl Cooter got it. So Cheryl, do you have a question for me tonight, or do you want a message from Sacred Spirit? And I think this is your first time in the room. It's the first time I've seen your name in here. So welcome, welcome. If you like to have little live streams like this, make sure you subscribe and put on your notification bell so you know when I go live, and then turn on notifications on your app. Happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend. Yes, ma'am. Message from Sacred Spirit. Okay. Is this your first time in the room, Cheryl? Or have you seen me before? She's like, message from Sacred Spirit right off the bat. Okay. So this, I don't know if you know all about this, but this can be past, present, or future. I don't pick the time frame. I let Sacred Spirit come up with it. A lot of times when it's something in the past, people will tell me afterwards that that's a new perspective for them. If it's the present, obviously you'll recognize it. And if it's the future, usually it happens within a couple of days. I would say at the most 2 weeks, but usually a couple of days. First time. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So I think we've got all the basics explained. So we're going to do a message from Spirit from Miss Cheryl now. Everybody else be on the lookout for a piggyback message. See if you get a piggyback off of Cheryl's message. Okay, Cheryl, first 2 cards are going to talk about the situation Sacred Spirit wants to talk to you about. And then after that, we're going to look at 3 more cards that are going to talk about some insights or some advice around that situation. Yours are mostly present. They are generally mostly present tense. Once in a while, a future will get popped in there. Even more rarely, a past one. But it does happen. All right, let's take a peek at your situation, Miss Cheryl. You start off, my friend, with the Fool card coming up in reverse. Now, this tells me that you have a situation that you started as a leap of faith in the past, not knowing where it was going to take you. And I talk about these like they're right now because the cards are in front of me right now, just so you know. So I'm going to say right now what's going on is you are reevaluating this leap of faith that you started in the past, asking yourself, has it served its purpose? Is it time to put it to bed? Or is this something that I can move forward with? Now, what we have crossing that is the 7 of Pentacles. Well, the 7 of Pentacles talks about some kind of payday. Okay. So this leap of faith could have been like a part-time job, a second job, a new job that was full-time. This could have been a side gig, but it's something that brings in a payday or a payoff. All right. So you've been considering, am I done with this? Maybe you picked up a job and you thought, I'm just going to keep this till Christmas time until I've got all my Christmas presents bought. And now you're thinking, well, I've got all my Christmas presents bought. Now do I want to turn loose at this? Okay. That's just an example. It doesn't have to be exactly that. But you are thinking about whether you want to keep that payday coming in or not. You're really reevaluating this. Okay. Now, best advice or heads up around this situation. We have, first of all, the 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles talks about this idea of collaboration. So working together with somebody, this can be like an employer-employee relationship, but it can also be collaboration with friends. Maybe you've been, cleaning a friend's house for some money, something like that. But it does talk about some kind of collaboration. Now, with the 4 of Cups here, this talks about the idea of feeling disappointed, having a little bit of a pity party with this collaboration, okay? And it's interesting how this plays out because this disappointment, this 4 of Cups, this pity party, is actually leading you to recognize where I want to be more happy, where I want more happiness in my life. And it's causing you to set some goals about creating more happiness in your life. Okay? So we see you reconsidering this idea about having a payday come in. And also, I'm going to say, when this card comes up, not only are you reconsidering, you're deciding that you want to keep moving forward with it. You're not ready to wrap it up and call it done yet. All right. I think this does have to do something with a collaboration that you've been disappointed in and that You want more happiness in this. So you may not stay in the same exact position. In fact, you won't, because now you're restless. That's the whole reason you're reevaluating. You're going to be making some adjustments because you're restless and because you want to be more happy. You want to feel more satisfied, more fulfilled than what you have already. So I think you're going to be making some changes. You're going to be continuing to receive this paycheck in one form or another, but you're going to be making some changes so that you can incorporate more happiness in your life, whether that's cutting back your hours, whether that is getting a raise or promotion. I don't know exactly with this. You would know what's going to make you happy because you're the one that is realizing, man, I'm not as happy as I would like to be here. Okay? So that's what I've got for you. I mean, sometimes money is what makes you happy. Sometimes having time with the family is what makes you happy. I'm not going to assume. Cheryl knows what she needs to be happy. I'm assuming Cheryl knows what she needs to be happy. It's amazing how many people are out of touch with that concept, though. All right. So that's what we've got. I've been here 56 minutes. It's time for me to get out of here. Get on my way out to dinner with my birthday friend. And I will see you guys next time around. So don't forget, notifications on here, notifications on your device, subscribe, let other people know about me. I am trying to grow this channel, and any help with that is greatly appreciated. And of course, if you guys want a actual in-person, well, over the internet reading with me that is just for you, then you can find out how to book a reading with me in the description box. My website's there. All my contact information is there. Reach out to me if you have any questions. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.